What if Destiny 2 is bad? What if the game falls on its face like it did when it was first released? Now, to people who have watched any of my other videos, you may be wondering, hey, Jacob, why are you making such a statement like this? Don't you like Destiny? 90% of the videos that you post on YouTube are Destiny related. You have to like the game at least a little bit, right? And to answer those people, yes, I love the game. I've not spent more time in any other game in the past 2 years. Since Microsoft released those stats on each person, I looked back and for 2016 and 2015, my most played game was Destiny. I love Destiny. But I like it. It's a good game for me. It's not a good game in general. And I'm going to explain what that means in a second. See, there is something about Destiny that has captivated me. Maybe I have the right type of there's something about me that just gravitates towards Destiny's style. Something about the RNG loot system that is thrilling. You feel, this might sound sad, but I still feel a literal adrenaline rush every time I get that weapon that I've been chasing to drop, or that piece of armor, or something like a ship, or an emblem, or a sparrow, or what have you. There is something legitimately that I love about the game, that literally I've been playing it daily for the past 2 years almost, and I don't know what it is. But it was not always like that for me. When the game launched, I hated Destiny. What? You hated Destiny, but you loved Destiny? Yes, I did. But when the game was first released, I'd say 3/4 of the people that pulled the plastic off of the game and popped it into the Xbox, I was disappointed with what I got. See, I had been participating heavily in the hype in the months leading up to the game's release. It wasn't until E3 2013 when we got our first real look at Destiny's gameplay that I got excited, and I spent the next year getting hyped as all can be, because I was waiting for Bungie to make a return, because I'm a lifelong Halo fan as well, and I didn't really like the way that 343 was handling things. Even from Halo 4 I didn't like it. But I always liked Bungie's Halo games, and I was so excited. Bungie is making a new sci-fi/fantasy game, and it's being published by Activision. Two of the biggest gaming giants coming together to make this epic, amazing game, and it looked like it was right down my alley. A sci-fi shooter with MMO and RPG elements. And a lot of lore. At least, that's what the trailers made it seem like. And I was so excited on day one when Destiny was released, going to GameStop and picking it up and getting it in my hands, and I was shaking when I put it into my Xbox because it had been 4 years since I played a game made by Bungie. And I was waiting so long for this because I'm such a huge fan of the company. And that night I played the first story mission. I'm like, this is cool, but I'm like, obviously I'm not into the game yet. This game is going to blow wide open once I get a good amount of play time in. And this was on a Tuesday, so obviously I had to wait the rest of the week and, playing here and there. I think I got through maybe a couple of missions as the week progressed, but then the weekend hit and I'm like, okay, finally I can sit down and I can really play this game for a few hours straight. It was Saturday. I woke up early Saturday morning to play the game. And after about an hour or two, I realized I didn't like this game. This game had no story to it. This game's just... I think I finished it. I think it was when I got maybe halfway through the story mode. I'm like, this is literally, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm putting this ghost thing into a computer. It's going to do something for a couple minutes, and I have to mow down all these enemies, and it'll be done. Oh my god, just in time. I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. And I was enraged. This is what Bungie has been spending, the last 5, 6, 7 years working on? This is why they dropped Halo? Halo that could not even be touched? Halo 3 being one of my favorite games of all time. And Halo Reach was also a great game in the series, and Halo 2 and Halo CE. And I even have a soft spot in my heart for ODST. And I couldn't come to grips with the fact that Bungie would make something that just felt so unfinished. And I was sad. I was mad. I wanted to get a different game. I did. I said, this has got to be a joke. But anyway, I was disappointed. I put the game back on the shelf and I went back to playing probably Halo 4 at the time. You know, Halo was my go-to game, and I still wasn't even fulfilled with Halo 4. But I bet that game sat collecting dust for a couple of months, you know, before I picked up Destiny again. And I just remember being bored one day. I'm like, God, what do I play? I'm like, I guess I could revisit Destiny. And slowly but surely, I began to love the game. I don't know what it was. I got past level 20 where I started getting legendary. I found out what an exotic weapon is. I'm like, exotic weapons, that sounds awesome. But most importantly, I got into the strikes, raids, and big time Crucible, right? Crucible is still my favorite thing in Destiny, and their PvP multiplayer is second to none, honestly. If you look at Destiny as a PvP game, it's some of the best out there. It really is. And I started to gravitate more towards the multiplayer, and for a while I played the multiplayer exclusively. But, you know, I'd get bored with that, then I'd start playing strikes, and I'd start playing the raid and things like that, and I actually loved the game. Now, we all know what happened with the Dark Below expansion. You know, I did shell out money for the expansions, all of them. Got the Dark Below, and it was not what I wanted. Again, I felt myself kind of disappointed. I'm like, this is like the original game, like a 5, maybe a 6 out of 10. I'm just like, well, that sucks, you know? And I found myself, you know, and just as the game was starting to turn around and I started to like it, they came out with the Dark Below, and I'm just like, that wasn't very good, you know? Like, I played the strikes and the missions, and I'm like, the missions were almost worse than vanilla Destiny. They were. They had nothing to them, you know? But, you know, I went for the you know, the new weapons and armor and stuff. I got the new exotics and whatnot, and, you know, that whole dance. But then I kind of took another break from Destiny. Then I started seeing trailers for House of Wolves. I'm like, should I do it? Because the last expansion, so far the two things that Bungie's produced in the Destiny universe have kind of been a flop. But, you know, I ended up getting House of Wolves. And that, for me, was the first glint of hope in Destiny. Because not only did they bring in Prison of Elders, like a Horde mode, which I really enjoyed, but they improved their story, their strikes, and probably the biggest thing for me in House of Wolves was Trials of Osiris. This would change the way I played Destiny for a long time, and it was kind of disappointing because at the time I didn't have too many people to play Destiny with. I think I found one person. Other than that, I would find people at LFG maybe once in a while. But I really didn't play Trials or the Raid very much. I was mostly to Crucible and the story missions and the strikes at the time. But when I did get into a Trials match, I loved it so much. It was incredible. And as the time went on, you know, I think House of Wolves came out in February. You know, I just kept spinning and spinning and spinning, and I kept, you know, falling more in love with the game. And then over the summer, they announced the Taken King expansion. And at first, I'm like, why? You're going to disappoint me again. Because it was a $40 expansion. And I'm just like, what? $40? I could buy like 3 used games for that price. And it's an expansion. And this is in the time of, you know, map packs and things like that. And DLC really wasn't anything that was game changing. For me, at least, you know, like, I bought Halo map packs and Call of Duty map packs. That was pretty much all the DLC I've ever invested my money into. But I started seeing more and more trailers for this Taken King expansion. I'm like, you know what? This could be really good, because it looks like it's going to be more than just 3 story modes, 3 story missions, a strike, maybe a raid, and some new Crucible maps. They were changing things in Destiny, adding new, you know, sidearms, swords, new exotics. The story in Taken King was longer, and it was much better than the previous offerings we've had from Bungie. And their raid. I actually have never finished the Taken King raid, but I've started a couple times. But from what I've heard, some people say it's the best in the series to this day, but I have not completed the Taken King raid yet. But, I fell in love. Rift is still one of my favorite game modes and everything, and yeah, I enjoyed Taken King, and then Rise of Iron came out this year, and it sucked, but Rise of Iron was worse than Taken King, I thought, but it was better than the previous two expansions in Vanilla Destiny, so I was pretty good with it. It wasn't as good as Taken King. But are you guys kind of seeing a pattern here? Destiny has been on a streak of having something really good, then following up with something not so good or mediocre. They started mediocre, then they hit House of Wolves, which is pretty good. Then Taken King, they hit a high, and now they're kind of back down to mediocre with Rise of Iron. Destiny was bad, Dark Below was bad, House of Wolves was okay, Taken King was great, Rise of Iron was okay. And that's it. So far, out of the 5 things that Destiny has released, I have only thought that one of them was great. So I can't help but feel a little skeptical on Destiny 2. And I'm sure a lot of other people bought the first game and they didn't buy the other expansions because they were so mad. I was kind of a special case, but they probably did not buy Dark Below or House of Wolves, and they probably didn't give Destiny a chance. But now that Destiny 2 has come out, a lot of the people that got hyped up for the original game are probably going to be like, okay, let's give this game one more chance. I'll splurge and get Destiny 2. But what if it's bad? The big reason why is because I want to expand the player base. That should be Bungie's biggest concern right now is, hey, we need to bring in the people that were hyped for the first Destiny. We need to bring them into here. We need to pull in people because, let me tell you, when Destiny was first being announced, there was a huge hype train, and unfortunately it cannot live up to the hype. There's going to be a little bit less hype for Destiny 2. I think people are just going to be more curious than anything. But if Destiny 2 is bad, unfortunately, I think this could be the end of the Destiny series. And Bungie I think they could hold on a little longer. They could maybe release a 3rd installment. But honestly, I do not see the series going 10 years like they anticipate, unfortunately. And I think that was kind of a bad way to approach it. Bungie was saying, this series is going to last 10 years. No longer, no shorter. That's what they said. This is going to be a 10-year thing. I'm like, you don't know how this game is going to... I just thought that was kind of weird how they always said, 10 years is going to be the magic number. That's how long the series is going to go. After that, we're either going to sell it, move on to something else, or whatever. End it.
30 seconds left.
So... But yeah, I really hope Destiny 2 is good. I hope... And so far, let me just say this. So far, the little information that we've had has been promising. I've seen some concept art that is going to be moving into Destiny 2, and it looked like, there's been that recent leak with the Mega Block set where Lord Shaxx is supposedly fighting this Cabal Bruiser is what he's called, with the cleavers. I don't know what a Cabal Bruiser is, but the description of the Mega Block set is that Lord Shaxx is fighting him with a Raze Lighter. I'm like, that sounds really interesting. That already sounds like it's a much bigger story than the previous game. But if you think about it, if you go back to Vanilla Destiny, we could have had a description. The ghost wakes you up and you must escape into the city, or, you have to kill Crota or whatever. There could be very little depth into this, even though it sounds really cool. It really does. So, I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on the Destiny 2 so far. I'm really hoping it's good. If it's not, Bungie's going to be into some shaky territory, unfortunately. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'd love to know what you think is going to be the outcome of Destiny in the next coming years. Are we going to thrive or are we going to die? Because this community is really great. The Destiny community is good, although it's kind of small. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you liked the video, leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, Subscribe and comment below if you want to tell me more about what you think Destiny 2 will be like. So, until next time, this is Juniper signing out.